Hi students, now I'm going to start detailing up some of the areas that you have been asked to do. So as you can see, I've put a call out around the jamb of this window area here. It's currently on sheet 107 and it's detail number 3, and if I double click there it'll bring me into here. So these are at 1:5. Now, before we get into detailing, there's a few things I wanted to point out to you here. One is I'm going to select the wall and go into the properties of it here. Okay. Now there's my brick. I'm using the HBA brick family. Okay. And whether you're using a different one or not, this is something I want to point out to you here. So this is the graphic indicator for brickwork, and so you need to get this right. And I always have, for my graphic indicators, I always put them at a grayscale. Okay, by default they're black and they can be too heavy, so I bring them down to a grayscale here. So the double line indicates a brickwork, and it's important that you go in and change that and make sure that that is correct. If I take the insulation here, I'm using a mineral wool on the outside piece of insulation, and I've got an EPS indicator here. It's kind of like a honeycomb, and this is my yellow, so it's 255 255 by 220. Okay, and that's just the right saturation for that yellow color. Here's my stud layer, and again it's 225 225 220. Okay, I don't have I'll do a separate graphic indicator for that, and the wood and the gypsum plaster and so on, like that. So notice as well that now I've got the brick wraps, and I'm going to show you how that works out, and I've got the two pieces of plaster board on the inside wrapping as well. Now when you do that, this is what you get. Here is the plaster wrapping around the corner. Okay, and there is the brickwork wrapping around the corner, and that's absolutely perfect because it's giving me that plinth there of brickwork here. I've got the mineral wool coming through here. This is the stud zone that's going to be insulated. This is my service cavity, and the two there's a plasterboard there. So that's the start. Now, so we're going to populate this with some 2D details, and how do we go about doing that? So over in annotate, into component, and click on this one here, and it is detail component. Okay, now you can go into load family here. So the first thing I want is a stud. All right, and if you come into, and I'll show you where I got this, often with 2D detailing, the most difficult part of it is just finding the 2D detail, to be honest with you. So it's in detail items. Here's your UK library, and you have detail items, so click into that. And okay, so we get in as far as here, and what you're looking for here is structural carcassing metal timber, G, and then you're looking for carpentry timber first fix, and you're looking for wood framing rather than timber framing. Okay, so here's my joists. Now I know that the joist here from this point to this point is 140, so you get the closest one that you can get to it, which would be, say, the 47 by 150. All right, so pick that, and when you hit OK, that'll load into the detail item will load into your project. Okay, now so I have this done already. Here various different items all have already loaded in, and down here, so that was the standard one, and I'll show you. So there, that's the one that's loaded in. You will do an edit type, you'll duplicate, change the 150 down to 140, change this from 150 to 140, and you're good to go. All right, so again, let's I'll have the two variants of that then after that. So I'm going to pick this one and bring it over here, and we're going to place it like so. Right, now there's your first stud joist gone in there, and that's absolutely perfect. So you're going to pick it, and then you're going to copy it. I like to copy from the center, so it's 450 across, right? Now, because we hit a corner here, we're going to put another one there. I'll put one out here. Escape. I'm going to pick that. I'm going to rotate it. So we'll rotate 90. All right, you got to pick a starting point and then put in your 90 there. Now, so we'll move this, and we'll move it to approximately there. Okay. Now, then you can take that one and copy it up 450 that way. All right. So that would look a bit unusual to have that there. So I'm going to move it over and just more or less center it in between the two. Okay, so you'd have, this is where it constructs the joint, if you know what I mean. So you might even have another one in here and another one in there as well. So I've got those two in. What I'm going to do then is go up to my annotate command. I'm looking for the insulation, and I'm going to place it, and it should be 140. So I'll change it in the type, in the instance properties here. I'll pull that across to there, and then pull that across to there, and so on, like this, and that one will go on up there. So that's a graphic indicator that in between the studs we have that insulation here. Now, a couple of more things I need to do here. I want to get a little batten in here. So again, I'm into annotate component, detail component, load family, and you're looking for this one here. So in the wood framing, you're looking for battening here. And if I double click that, it'll show you, it gives you a whole plethora of different ones. Now you can select a load of these, right, and go OK, and they will all load into your project. And I'll show you that. So we'll go back over to here, detail component, hit the drop down box here, and the battens, there's all the battens I've loaded in. Now it's the same process, whereby you will take one. If it's not the right size, take it, duplicate it, and change the size accordingly. I'm going to take this one here. Now I'm going to hit the space bar, which allows me to turn that around. All right, and I'll put that one in there, and put that one there. Now, so that's about correct there. Now, is there a counter batten gone in here? Let me just check the wall here, and we'll see. Do I have a counter batten on the inside there, or is it one? It's just an air gap of 60. Okay, which is quite a lot. I think 38 minimum, because if you think about the casing of a socket or something like that has to go in from that point and go into the wall here. So I think 38 is a minimum there. Right, so it was 60. So again, I'm going back into here, detail component, and I don't have a 60, but I have a 50. So edit type, duplicate. Okay, and we'll change that to 60. Okay, and then I need to change the width here to 60. Now, there's my 60, and again, I'll turn it that way, and we will position that like so. Now, that looks a bit big, doesn't it? Let me just check the distance here. It's 50. Is that 50? It is 50. Okay, so I'm going to pick that and swap it out for my 50 batten. There you go. Now I will move it so that it's sitting there. Now you can again copy this across for 50 or something like that. Okay, and that is the batten that is mounted there. Now, so what we need now are some fabrics. So how do we do those? Now I think you've done this exercise with Tom, where you've created a whole load of line types. So if we went to manage and into additional settings and into line styles here, hit the plus, let's drag that out. Now I've got a DPC there, so that's the one I'm going to start with, and it's a one size. I'm going to move that up to 3, okay, and it's a -2. Now, you will go into annotate and into detail line, hit the drop down box here, pick the DPC. What's that one? Now that DPC will start somewhere here and more or less go to like that, right? Now if I hit TL on the keyboard, you can see that's coming up a little bit thicker. It might need to be a little bit thicker as well. I'll go back to TL here. We've got a breather membrane here, so let's see where that is. We've got a moisture barrier on the inside here, and yeah, I thought we might have a breather membrane there as well. So escape. We're back into detail line, drop down box here, and there's a wall vapor barrier, and that one will kind of come in around here. Notice I'm not putting it on top of the line here. I want it offset, if you like, something like so. Okay, so that you can actually see it. If you put a line on top of a line, then it disappears, you know, something like that there. Right, now TL on the keyboard, and again you can see that is just it's not thick enough for my liking. So I'm going to go back into manage additional settings, line styles. Open this up, and it is vapor barrier, so we're going to change that. I'm going to change this, put it up to 4 maybe, see how that works out. Apply, and okay. Now probably could even be thicker again, all right, but it's in there. A scale of 1 to 5 now, you'd see that. Now, so I've got a DPC, vertical DPC in there. I've got my vapor barrier on this side. I probably need something along here, like a breather membrane or something like that as well. And again, that's how you would put that in. Now, that is, I don't think there's anything more to be done with that, to be honest with you. In terms of modeling, got our studs in and everything, so that is pretty good. Now, what we would do after that is start putting our construction notes in here. Now, what we try to avoid in Revit is putting what text boxes like that there, right? Okay. Now, because that is just what we call as dumb text, and it'll tell us whatever you write. Okay, that's fine, but and you'll have heard myself and Tom go on about this for ad nauseum. We prefer you to use tags, okay? And if you remember as well, we created multi-category tags, okay? And there's my multi-category tag here. And within the project here, we have 4 types of multi-category tag. We've got one with a construction description and a type mark, an elevation description, a type mark only, and a uni class, okay? So where do they come into play? Now, if I pick the wall, the whole wall, all right, and you can see actually the note has come in, and I'll show you that now in a second. I'll undo that. I want to pick escape, make sure I'm out of the command, like so, and I go into the edit type properties. Now, what we're interested in here is identity data. So the type comments refers to the multi-category tag for elevations, because it's got the brick fit, it's got the finish of this element. So on the outside there's brick, that's what you see in the elevation, that's the note that goes in there under type comments. The description that we talked about is this one here, so you'll fill in this as being a full description of the makeup of the actual wall itself. All right, that's the assembly code. And if you want me to show you how you got that, when you click into it, it realizes that it's walls. Okay, so this is a text file that's associated with this project, and it comes in via your template file. And we tend to use systems rather than elements or products here. So you hit systems, wall and barrier systems, go down to unit wall structure, right? Go down to masonry wall systems, and this is a masonry wall leaf system. and that is the configuration for that. What is that? That's an indicator to the quantity surveyor. He'll know what that code is, and he'll be able to price it up accordingly. And the type mark we make up ourselves here, this is external wall type 1. All right, and that's the type mark. Now, they're the 4 parameter categories in type parameter that apply to multi-category tag. Hit the drop-down box, you can see that's the description and the type mark parameter. This is the type mark parameter only. That is the unit class parameter, and that is the type comments where we've got the external finish. All right, so I'm going to use this one, and when it finds the wall like so, right, it puts in that comment there. Now it's gone missing, but don't panic. I'm going to take that, and I'll move this out. Right, that the broken line here is the annotation crop. Okay, and when you have that checked, you can find the annotation crop, and you can pull this out a piece here. Now I've got 2 notes in there. So here's the window type note. All right, and you can see this has got an attached end, and I much prefer a free end, so I can position that one like so. All right, so there's the window type there. I'm back into annotate and multicat, and let's find the wall note. All right, I like to line these up here. You've seen that now with myself and Tom, and again I prefer a free end apply. So select that again, and sometimes it doesn't go up. Right there, so that's the dot I'm looking for there. Now that is our free end there. I can turn off the crop box there now. So I will go in, and I'm going to, now you can see that the DPC line is just a line. Now I know that Tom has already shown you how to create these lines so that you can tag them as well, right? So do that. So that'll be a DPC. That'll come in around the corner here as well. There are other items here that there's the detail items themselves, if you like. And let's see if we can pick those up in a tag. No. Right. If you get that situation where there is question mark, then you need to pick the item, go into down here, and where do you go? You go down to description, and this is a, what was it, a 38 by 50 treated timber batten. Isn't that right? Okay, treated timber batten. There's no need for type comments in this one because you're not going to see it. No need really for a type mark either in this case here. We could put it in an assembly code, but for the moment I'll just leave that, and that has updated there now. Okay, so select, and again free end, let's move it out over here, and I'm trying to get hold of that one there. All right. Just to pull that like so. Now you can start to put in notes in regards to those items there as well.